to work. I was watching the football game, and they had this kid from a lieutenant or whatever from Fort Huachuca in the reserves who's quarterback for Jacksonville State. And he had to go hunt him down. It was amazing. He was at Fort Huachuca training and all this stuff. And it's like, wow, you mean the military base that studied me like an animal, sexually abused and compromised my family, and act like it didn't happen, even though it fulfilled 5 rabbinic documents. It's absolutely amazing that this guy's playing he was being trained to be a soldier that kills for money at Fort Huachuca and now ends up being a quarterback for a corporation in Alabama. Are you sure that's amazing? Because I'm like sitting there going, yeah, okay. That's amazing, huh? You ever heard that song? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Right? And those people, it's weird that what they choose to believe in. You go read the Bible and you read Jesus's existence and what they wrote down of what he said and how he lived. And they choose to believe that how many people, how for years, they choose to believe that he's a magic God in the sky and the clouds, that you go live with eternally in the clouds if you're good in a spiritual body. I don't know how that works because I always says, okay, in your heaven and thing like that, where's the old people? Where's the babies? Where's you're not going to need that. So what's my perfect age? So a 40, your perfect summer was before Christopher Reeve found the penny in his pocket with Jane Seymour, right? That day, before Christopher Columbus tried to screw everything up, right? Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Beautiful flower, won't you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss. Right, you wackos are wackos forever. Not necessarily, no. People can change. They always do. Haven't they noticed the changes in you? Can it be that, like love, I was blind? Love isn't blind. No. Love sees everything perfectly clear. Why have you forsaken me? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Love sees everything perfectly clear. Okay. Heaven on earth is all you see, your touch. Love is and clouds your mind with emotion. That's not true. That sexual desire to reproduce with somebody that you are attached to wanting to sexually reproduce with them. Okay. My second wife used to come home pregnant all the time. Okay. Before Natalie was old enough to understand it, she'd go out, she'd stop having sex with me, go out, come back pregnant, and I got her pregnant. Yeah, it's wow. And then when it happened with Crumb, Natalie was 12 years old, teenager, a little Miss Big, like my sister Linda, Mrs. Kravitz and anything, listening to everything, telling me, what Amy was doing with guys on the computer on Skype and everything when I was in home. And I was like, Natalie, you need to quit watching. And Natalie, you saw it, in Sierra Vista, in Sheridan, and told me about it, that she was, her and the man, Brad Barnett, the special forces guy, were masturbating with each other on the computer. You could see through the door at the other place. So if you go and watch this, you might see her masturbating with some other guy again. And I don't want you watching it. Okay. Like when Amy made those pornography videos for Yorgav and put them on her MP3, and she would let Natalie use her MP3. And that was also I was not happy with that. Okay. When I talked to Natalie about sexuality, I said, basically, it's like holding the ocean back with a broom, and it's very hard, and you want to, but you're going to have to, there are things that you can do to sexually comfort and enjoy each other, but you're going to have to get with somebody that you can trust and won't talk about you and won't, use you for sex. And so it's good, and you want to take your time, even though I know it's very hard because it can cause a lot of social anxiety and social pressures and social abuse, and it also can get you pregnant way too young. All right, and that's the way I used to talk to Natalie about sex. Well, because I'm more intelligent than the people that are president, governor, public defender of El Paso, even Dr. Ruth and the neuroscientist on your YouTube telling you how your brain's working. I'm more intelligent than they are. I'm one of the most intelligent people in the history of the world. How do you know Jesus was born in Bethlehem? You believe everything you read? Okay, else I don't. Okay. And so, but people choose to believe the mythology written down by the Romans that were the ones that used their archaic system to declare it law and then use that archaic system to crucify Jesus Christ because he was, quote, breaking their laws. And the Hebrews said, you can't do this. If you do this, this will be seen as an eternal crime of being taught by a perfect man how to be a perfectly faithful person. And you'll kill him and try to assimilate to your group of genocide and murder. And when the time comes, when there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, you're not going to be able to hide this lie. And the Hebrews that betrayed him are not going to be able to hide the fact that they should have known better, but they didn't do it. They didn't stand up like him. They were afraid of dying. They were afraid of being killed by this large group of a republic that wrote down their laws on pieces of paper and agreed to them and then ratified them and said money is real and now we will fight and kill over it. And you can't do that anymore. This is 2024. We have computers plugged into the planet, okay, that are learning, quote, to the sisters or do a think for themselves. Okay, you can't get away. What you guys were doing yesterday, even back in Obama's administration and Trump's other administration, it doesn't hold water anymore. One day the bucket will go to the well, and one day the bottom of the bucket will drop out. Okay, it does not hurt water. With what shall I mend it, dear Liza? You know what I mean? There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. What you do is you take the straw in the bucket, you go down to where you get the water. Okay, you dip the bucket in and shove the straw in there, and you wait for the straw to swell up, and then you can bring the water back. I don't know why Liza was just being obnoxious. She should have just broke it down and explained to him. Well, Liza's just being a know-it-all bitch. She's being like Claire Huxtable, right? You know what I'm saying? And her book club, right? Instead of saying, baby, you're just not thinking. You're thinking like a hunting man instead of a woman who's always having to put things back together because her man thinks with his dick. Right? Like y'all. Okay. Some of them have vaginas. It's because they're always telling the dick what to do because they think their vagina's so special. Dummies. You love me. Your mother was a lush and your daddy was a dummy. I'm going to go. Let's load this one up so I can get to bed a little bit earlier and get some rest and help my body recover from all the psychological, physiological, and emotional abuse that they're capable of inflicting in the Valley of the Rio Grande. Bunch of Packerwoods on a pussy plantation. I'm a human being, and I'm like the eternal spirit of Father Jesus with his whip. And, if I kick your ass, it's because you're showing that ass and you have no intent on stopping, obviously. And you deserve a good ass kicking every time you show it, all right? Because I love you. I love you. Whoa, I love you. I'm going to go now, all right? We already said so long. Okay, peace, man.